I think in the RFP you stated that the jobs at the stadium itself would be up to or close to 100 positions, and then we also have a local construction ordinance which requires Malden residents to be part of any project that's going on. So can you just address the considerations for both the construction and the positions at the park? What consideration Malden residents will have?
Sure. For folks who have our handout, you'll see we've addressed both of those issues in the handout, sort of 2/3 of the way down, that we will voluntarily comply with the Malden local hiring ordinance and make a concerted effort to hire local residents for construction jobs. We expect this to be a union-built job. We have had discussions already with the Secretary-Treasurer of the Greater Boston Building Trades about having a Malden effort, and we are going to do everything. We were going to make this a best practices example of a project that works on that basis. So we'll be doing everything we can to make that happen. And in terms of the jobs, for once the stadium opens, there absolutely will be a preference for Malden residents. We will do presumably a job fair, and the first day of it will be open just to folks from Malden, perhaps also students who go to school here. But there absolutely will be a preference for Malden residents.
Great, that's great to hear. Thank you. My next question, I'd like to build off Kevin Duffy's question about the benefits to Malden. You talked about Springfield and it being a blighted area. With this is right in the heart of the downtown. So you could just expand a little bit on how the Malden community as a whole will benefit from this park and this project.
Sure. One of the things I would encourage people to do is in our response to the RFP, which is, I understand from the mayor, will be online starting certainly by next Tuesday. We have a 75-page response we filed with the committee. There will be an electronic version of it available on a PDF basis starting on Tuesday. And a lot of materials that address some of these questions are included in there. There's a very nice article. I think one of the reasons had Phil come up and talk is one of our exhibits, for instance, an article from the Springfield Business Journal that specifically talks about all the benefits, actually numbers of money raised and taxes paid and things like that, that the Springfield Cardinals have had in Springfield, for an example. So the proposal is worth looking at, and you'll find if you have, I think people should, if you get a chance to take a look at it, I think it will help on some of these questions and some of your own questions. I think in terms of benefits overall, we see this as being something that will, and I think the congressman addressed that. I mean, this will put Malden in the spotlight in the regional area. I mean, it will be, there will be 300, 400,000 people a year who will come to games here. Obviously, many of them will come several times, but many will come once or twice. There'll be a chance to showcase the community. There'll be a chance to point out the easy access, both by subway and by Route 93 and Route 1 and through 60. And I think it would be very disappointing if there weren't ultimately folks who came and saw the community and then said, hey, this would be a good place to put a business. This would be a good place maybe to buy a house and move. And I think there will be an exposure to Malden and give it a chance to be seen on a regional basis as a city that is only going upwards and is a sort of hidden jewel that now is being uncovered by the chance that people can come and in a very nice and easy way see it. I think overall there are other things which we've talked about and which are covered on this handout we've done. I mean, the Malden High School varsity baseball team will, if it wants to, can play their home games at our facility. There will be a locker room for them. There will be, the ability for events, graduations and things of that nature, that the community events that want to happen. We think that setting aside above and beyond the economic benefits we've talked about earlier, but I think there will be, and over time, I think we will find new ways to add to it. I think one of the things which hasn't been specifically mentioned here, and we'll probably talk about later, but just one of the things you end up with suites is the current state of the art is you end up having some of them set up so that they can effectively have the walls folded back, and you end up with a bunch of them, so you can end up having meeting rooms. And we see offering the capability for that business folks who want to have a meeting for 50, 60 people can have a meeting at our facility. And we see having a place that's convenient for meetings be something that we will offer. And I think, as Phil mentioned earlier, we can't be the sole factor, but we could be the factor that could help create a hotel here. one of the things a hotel operator would look for is some guaranteed business that they would be getting. So I think there's a lot of stuff, and I think over time we will sort of peel that onion more and more.